Hello, and welcome to Not a Serious Sports Show, sports news, but make it gossip. I'm Zuzu.
And I'm Joni.
And welcome back for another week of catching up on all the hot sports and pop culture goss.
Yes, and there is a lot this week, I feel like. So we should just dive right in. We like to do our favorite fit of the week. So mine this week is Miami Dolphins safety DeShon Elliott was in Frankfurt for their exhibition game against the Chiefs, which they thankfully lost because I'm a Chiefs fan. But DeShon Elliott really brought it with a nod to German heritage. He wore this traditional. Oh yeah, I sent it to you. So you can
I'm opening it up now because I want to have a live reaction.
A genuine reaction.
When I heard the words lederhosen, I felt alive.
So it's this custom-made lederhosen embroidered, and it has like over 160 rainbow rhinestones that are just embellishing it in a nice but surprisingly tasteful way. I'm into it.
Oh,
what do you think?
My God, I am obsessed.
Do you live, laugh, love for it? It's so good.
Oh, I am on some for some reason the picture sent me didn't load, so I'm on some German website. I have no idea what they're saying apart from Miami Dolphin star meets lederhosen im Stadion. And oh my fucking God, this is so good. This is like Alexander McQueen could never. This is
so good.
Incredible.
I loved it. I was very impressed with the craftsmanship of it. Apparently it's handmade, styled and handmade by Chad Johnson. He's a Miami designer from Dwayne & Johnson. And I think it struck all the right notes for a playful nod to the exhibition game in Germany. So it has my heart. Good job, DeShon.
That is so cute because I love dressing for an occasion. There's nothing more than I love than a theme.
Yes.
If you give me a theme, I'll go there, to quote Creed in circa 2003.
Let's go there.
And
I'm with you.
Perfect. It's so fun and playful and cute and
but it's still lederhosen. Yes. It still looks traditional. You could wear that to Oktoberfest. It's cute. I like it.
I mean, that's the thing that I love the most about anything that is themed is it is such a cute nod to the culture. And if I was a German person, I would be screaming from the rooftop in joy. Fuck, this is exactly what I want my culture to look like. Because that is incredible. Fucking 15 out of 10. No notes.
Rainbow bedazzled. You can't go wrong.
Honestly, I need it. It's honestly incredible.
Let's call Chad.
Chad, let me borrow this. Speaking of phenomenal outfits, my favorite outfit is Jamal Williams of the Saints. And I
saw this and I just knew. I was like, this is for Zuzu.
Head to toe Pokemon trainer king. This is giving, I have gone to all the gyms. I fucking defeated Team Rocket at Cinnabar Island. I captured Missing No. I am an absolute king. And I have the Master Ball. He is a legendary Pokemon. This is insane. The Pikachu hat, well, I think it's actually Eevee. The Eevee hat, the Pokemon striped sweater for each, element and starter Pokemon. I am losing it. The only thing that he's missing is honestly, some kind of incredible Pokeball themed
purse or satchel.
Satchel, or even a belt with a little Pokeball on it.
That would be cute. That'd be very cute.
Pokeball. All I'm saying is, call me.
Apparently he's a huge fan of Pokemon. I saw a press conference where he corrected the pronunciation, and he's worn a Pikachu hat to a conference before press conference. He's a big fan. And it's playful. It's incorporating what he loves, and it's fashion.
Honestly, there is nothing that makes me happier than people being nerds for the things they love, myself included. And I mean, I am deeply in love. All I need is some honestly, I would say even go further. Dial it up.
Take it more.
Go off, King.
Go off, King. We do need to discuss the pitfalls of the week, fashion-wise. Joe Burrow may have his game back, but his fashion game is cursed. And I like Joe Burrow's. He wore that like amazing rose suit outfit that we both loved. Like I like most of the time, I like what he does. But this week, it was more about the accessories. He wore this like giant blinged out snowflake pendant.
It's giving like icing or like Claire's.
Absolutely.
Not.
It's giving like guy who doesn't know what to give his girlfriend for the holidays. So he's like, snowflake jewelry.
But like
but
preteen
huge.
edition. It's like it's giving like, hey, my parents gave me $15 to spend at Claire's to get my girlfriend a gift for the holidays. I found this snowflake pendant. Snowflake means it's Christmas. Snowflake means it's holidays. Do you want to be my snowflake date? Like it's so like it is.
It's bad.
Like at first, I could barely get to the snowflake because like the snowflake headphones combo was like blinded me.
Both bedazzled.
It's also like his expression is giving me like it's like Ansel Elgort and Baby Driver, but like the mall version. Like it's not not it. And like honestly,
it's a no, Joe. It's a no from Joe Cool.
Here's the thing. If you're going to do something like quirky, like, well, I don't know if snowflakes are necessarily quirky, but like if you're gonna do something quirky-ish, go all out. Like I want to see a snowflake. I want to see you wearing like some.
You want it to be bigger?
Well, yeah, make it bigger. I would say like have a light up suit. Like
maybe some faux fur, like go full
like,
winter theme.
Winter, I want to see like an Elsa theme. Like that is what I want to see. I don't want to see fucking Pandora collaboration with Disney Elsa necklace. I want to see a full ass Elsa outfit.
Let it go, Joe. Just embrace your true self. Yeah, that was a miss for me. Oh well. Do better next time, Joe. So while we're talking about fashion, we're going to transition into our statistics-free sports news, but keep it on a fashion note. So this week, Zuzu actually texted me about this. She texted, I can't remember what it was, whatever the Thursday night game was. She texted me and was like, what in the UPS hell? Because all the coaches were wearing these like just muddy brown sweatshirts and they're disgusting.
At first I thought it was just like that team. I think it was the Eagles.
Yeah.
Steelers.
I can't, honestly, who knows?
Somewhere in Pennsylvania. But
Steelers. I think Steelers, yeah.
But I was like, well, that tracks. Like, no offense to Steelers fans, but like
but also all the offense.
But like, yeah, a little bit. But like it's a very hetero city. So like I can imagine the men wearing very much like that kind of outfit. Like it's, you know, like, and then I saw it across the different games and I was deeply upset.
Yeah, so this like bizarre what can brown do for you look is actually not a hell of a lot for your fashion apparently. Yeah. But it is part of the salute to service that the NFL does in November for Veterans Day. And it was unforgivably ugly and just like looked really bad on every single person. But also the whole salute to service thing in general is a little shady. I'm from a military family. My dad is a veteran, but this always rubs me the wrong way. There's just a lot of hypocrisy and overall weird vibes surrounding the NFL salute to service. First of all, they sometimes, like in 2015, it was uncovered that the Department of Defense was actually paying for this, like supposedly honorific coverage of the military. Like it's actually like paid advertising, and like what a misuse of taxpayer dollars.
Really fucked up.
It's deeply fucked up.
I mean, and also when you're watching the games, like one of the most common things that you see ad wise is like military ads, right? Like whether it's Army, you know, Coast Guard, whatever, like it's such a frequently seen thing.
Well, they've worked really hard, I think, in the NFL to try and promote this like relationship between the two of them. And there's a lot to be made of like the comparison, the metaphor of like the warrior on the field and the warrior off the field. But to find out that like it's not something that they're just doing out of the goodness of their heart or to like bring a tangible benefit to servicemen and women. It's actually something that they're getting money for, that the NFL, charges for, is just like deeply hypocritical. And not to mention like the increasing militarization and performative patriotism in
I
the
was gonna
league.
say, like, I think a lot of this does feel very performative
Hell yeah.
patriotism to me.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also just, again, I've said hypocrisy a lot, but when the NFL says that they want to stay out of politics, right? Like they didn't want people protesting on the field, taking a knee for the anthem because they said this isn't the venue for that. But if you're highlighting the military in programming on television, that is absolutely has a political stance.
That's a really good point, Joni. Like if you're going to allow people, or like not really allow, but I guess wear these outfits, I mean, I would have to be forced. Like I would have to be like threatened to. My family would have to be held at gunpoint for me to put that sweatshirt on.
I feel like you could tell that like the head coaches like were not wearing it. This was like delegated to like the the B team.
But like, if you're going to sort of enforce this uniform that's like, oh, this is for our troops, well then, maybe, and then say that, okay, but you can't kneel during the national anthem. I feel like that is like, can't, this is not Burger King.
No.
You can't have it.
You can't have it your way. You can't have it all.
They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And it's conforming, I think, to a very conservative and old-fashioned idea of what patriotism looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's no tangible benefit really for the military, but it's a branding opportunity for the NFL. So it's, I don't know, maybe that's a dark view of it, but I think I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. Anyway, onto a lighter topic. Let's talk about Taylor and Travis update. You love to love this couple. Speaking of love, so Travis was asked at the press conference in Germany if he was in love with pregame conference, if he was in love with Taylor. The press needs to chill the fuck out.
I would die if someone asked me this and I had not like said that to my partner. I would pee myself.
Regardless if he has or he has not, that's private, which is what he said. He's like, I got to see her last week. It was great. I'm going to keep parts of my private life private. But I'm like, that was a ballsy reporter to just be like, are you in love with her?
I mean, I feel like there's like some reporter who was just like, listen, I am shooting my shot. Like, this is not my beat, but like, here I am. I'm going to go crazy. And I kind of respect that. But like, it was a nice, thoughtful answer, I thought. Like, it wasn't like he wasn't just like, you need to like respect my privacy, asshole, which is like what you could have said.
Right. I mean, I guess that's because they have been so public. They probably will tolerate some level of like some of this. Yes, absolutely. The relationship
shocked to
is
not have seen, I guess not really that shocked, but like no Taylor sightings in Germany.
No Taylor. She stayed in New York and was sighted there. Apparently hosted like a party, like a watch party for the Chiefs' girlfriends, which is cool. Also, she went out to dinner with elite company that included Brittany Mahomes, but also Selena Gomez, Gigi Hadid, Sophie Turner. The whole girl gang is there, plus now Brittany.
Yeah. I mean, so one thing that I thought was really interesting, you texted me about this, Joni, saying that like, and my reaction was kind of like, I guess people were like a little bit like, okay, she's like the lead WAG now.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shocked that there isn't like already a lead WAG. Like that
I
there
feel
isn't this
like
like presence.
presumably Brittany is at home in Kansas City, but obviously this is just an entirely different level of power and cultural icon. And I think again, we've talked about this, but I think it's cool seeing Brittany being brought into the fold. Of course, though, like the whatever link I sent you, the top comment was like, who's going to tell Taylor Swift that we don't like Brittany Mahomes? And it's just very catty
Why
and
not?
high school. Yeah.
What's she fucking done to you?
Do you know Brittany Mahomes? No.
No.
Does Taylor? Yes. Like what?
Yes.
Brittany
Also,
gets done so dirty.
she really does. And one thing that really like I worry about, and this is just like my personal thing, like I really worry that like if and when Travis and Taylor break up,
Don't
sorry, I'm just
say
saying,
it.
like
Don't say it.
she's a chaotic Sagittarius queen, like we know that.
We're gonna get a great album from it at least.
Oh yeah, but what I worry about, I'm like, okay, like is this like her flavor of the month in terms of girlfriends, right? You know, she's known to collect squad people,
yes,
and she's known to drop them just as fast when they don't serve her purpose. And like, I don't know, I kind of want to like send Brittany a message and be like, just make sure you're okay, like for when she
enjoy your 15 minutes of fame while you can, bitch.
And I kind of feel like I really hope that like, you know, this, I kind of do want it to work out, like this relationship between Travis and Taylor. And if it doesn't, I worry deeply about Brittany.
Well, as my boomer mother says, they're not getting any younger and they probably both want kids. So now is the time. I was like, okay, Caroline, I think that both of them have enough in their universe that like that's probably not the most important thing.
You know, I mean, Taylor is like what, a year older than us?
Yeah, I think they're both 34.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be fine, I think.
They're absolutely fine. But Caroline, thanks for the hot take.
I'll let them know.
Yeah,
I'll let them know.
I'll tell them.
But I will say one last thing about Brittany. Like in those pictures, Rosie is like, I have thoughts.
She
I have feelings.
has thoughts. That was actually Granby. It's Granby. Granby's putting his hot take in. Yeah, it's those photos. Again, an example of how the media does her so dirty.
They're like not good. And I will say, like, I don't know who handles this particular thing, whether it's like your publicist. Does your publicist handle this?
Her publicist on the phone.
Her publicist on the phone. But like whoever handles like which pictures get seen and like published, like that person needs to be on the phone with whatever magazine, because I don't think these are flattering photos.
They're fired. Because Brittany Mahomes is cute. It's just it's unflattering angles.
It's like mid-speech. And I don't know if that's like a lack of formal media training, perhaps.
Probably.
Taylor has, or if Taylor is like, well, I looked good in this one, so we're sending this one to be published.
I mean, that is what the alpha best friend does in the group. We know this. I also, another thing about this like meeting, apparently Brittany Mahomes told Sophie Turner that she really wants to like play matchmaker for her. So I'm very excited about that. We might end up with another like high profile Chiefs romance. I like Isaiah Pacheco for her, but you've pointed out that he is a bit of a short king, and it's
nothing
probably
wrong with that, but she's
nothing wrong with that. She's a tall queen
lady. Yeah, she's like 5'10", I think, almost 5'11". So
which I'm pretty sure they like list Isaiah Pacheco at 5'10", which means that he's probably more like 5'8" or something. So
everyone always says like 5'10" is not a real height. Because you're either like 5'8" or you're like
6 foot.
Yeah, like 5'10" is like maybe not real. But I mean, listen, she dated Joe Jonas, and
so she loves a short king.
So she is clearly comfortable. As long as he's comfortable, I'm all for it. But she was caught snogging some like
British actor. I saw that.
British aristocrat.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe hang on to that, girl.
I wouldn't hate it if our Queen in the North also became like, I don't know, like a countess or something. That would be amazing.
But maybe she could have a little like WAG era fun first before settling down again. We'll see.
But yeah, like honestly, I think Brittany, like I care for her now, and like I feel very protective about her.
Me too.
Like, I was really happy when you sent me the pictures of her and Patrick and their babies doing the Skims commercial.
Yes. So fuck the haters. Brittany has this, what I'm sure is an incredibly lucrative holiday ad with Skims, with like the whole family, with Bronze and Sterling in the like little, what do you call it? Buffalo plaid, I think is the red and
Wait, I'm
red
sorry.
and
Their names are Bronze and
okay, yeah. So first of all, their dogs' names are Silver and Steel. Then they just like ratcheted that up a notch when they had children and named the daughter is Sterling, which is like a less valuable metal than silver. So that's
I was
confusing.
gonna say, like, go for platinum or like white
Yeah,
gold or
diamond, yeah, something like that. And then their little boy, his name is actually Patrick Mahomes the third, but they call him Bronze for the third, and to keep
okay, that's
the metal
cute.
trend. Yeah,
The metal trend is very cursed. I kind of like it's low key giving me like a bit of Utah Mom, but
yeah,
like
oh yeah,
I do like that third bronze. That's cute. That's
yeah,
cute.
it
And
is
those
cute.
babies are unfucking believably
They're
adorable.
so cute. I love Sterling. You have to work hard, I think, to get that child to smile. Like she is an RBF queen. And so her smiling in the ad makes me really happy. I love it.
It was very cute and like sort of like like, you know, on the back of what we were saying last week with like Skims branching out into the NBA and WNBA, like,
and men's wear and now children's wear, apparently.
Kim is like cornering the sports family market, and
she is.
She couldn't have picked a better couple because like obviously they are such a cute couple and they have such a sweet family, but it's also like, you know, he's a very prestigious player and like his wife is also an athlete, so it's like they're a good fit. Yeah, and it's really cute. Like it's really cute.
Yeah, I thought it was adorable. So another newsworthy event, social media related. So George Pickens, he's a second year pro wide receiver for the Steelers, and the Steelers have been having a bit of a rough go of it. And George is letting his frustration show. He is not being the most professional on social media. He posted this week, free me on his Insta story after their disappointing loss in Thursday Night Football. You were right, Suze. It was the Steelers. And then he proceeded to take every single picture of the Steelers off of his Instagram account.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is like high school level petty. That's very like, yeah, it's very much like, you never loved me, I never loved you.
It's like high school mean girl unfriending you. It's
like a bad breakup of someone you dated for like a hot minute and you're like, well, I'm gonna delete all these posts where I said I love you and you always make me smile.
It's incredibly juvenile.
That's interesting. And is there any like blowback when people do this, like athletes do this with their team? Like surely his friends, like, you know, his like teammates next day were like,
that's a good question, because I'm sure I'm sure in their contracts they have things about like what they cannot post on social media, but I doubt that it has any clause that like you have to maintain a social media presence related to the team. I don't know. That's a good question. I did like that the Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said that the George Pickens drama is, quote, a pebble in my shoe, which I think is a fantastic way of saying like you're annoying, but ultimately insignificant. You don't matter. You're a pebble in my shoe, dude.
Yeah, that is rough to hear. I would not want to be described that.
There's been like a lot of petty around the league this week. So the Las Vegas Raiders, they fired their coach, Josh McDaniel, was fired. And they won their game on Sunday, and they celebrated by like celebrating as though they had won a playoff game. They had cigars, they were listening to music, and they put the whole thing on social media.
Hate that man.
And I mean, this is a man who like wears a visor and has spiked hair.
Well, I'm already
2023.
I was gonna say the only person who could pull that off is the lead singer of Smash Mouth, R.I.P., and Guy Fieri.
I was gonna say Guy, of course. He corners the market on that look. You have no place there, Josh. But I guess they had like a come to Jesus intervention type of meeting the week before, and he's just, I think Josh McDaniels is an asshole. He blames his players for his shortcoming, his bad play calling. And I don't necessarily blame them for being excited to see him gone. But again, it is like there is this thing of like what happens in the locker room is sacred. Like we don't talk about it.
You know, maybe he should have listened to that before he like started being a dick about his players.
Fair enough. But they were clearly just thrilled to see him gone. So
you know, I don't know. I love that for them, and I hope the Steelers remove all of the pictures of him from their Instagram account.
George Pickens off the Steelers' social media. I love that. Well, I mean, it's, you know, the Raiders are free. George only out here hoping to be. I'm like, if you're not careful, you're going to get just straight up fired, let alone free.
I meant Josh Daniels. Remove that man from every social media.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Although last week, the 49er, no, oh God, who does Garoppolo play for now? Whoever he plays for, he's benched now, and he
Giants?
No, I think maybe he is the 49ers. He used to play for the 49ers. There's been a lot of switching up around the league this year of quarterbacks, so my brain.
Tell me about it. I like still have a fucking like knot in my stomach anytime I watch the Packers play, thinking I'm gonna have to like see Aaron Rodgers' face. And like it's really scary. Oh, he's with the Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders. More Raiders drama. How could I forget? So anyway, but last week they tweeted out, "Happy birthday, Jimmy Garoppolo," like a few hours after he was benched. It's like, and for your birthday, you're benched. It's just, yep.
I'd like to address that I have noticed something about Jimmy Garoppolo and
what's that?
A few other players on the field is, do you think they're wearing like tactical eyeliner?
Okay, so Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, I think always looks like he has a little bit of like eyeliner on. That is a good question. Like they just take the black out and give a little emphasis around the eyes.
It's very much giving like, and this is a real, you know, sexual awakening moment for me, but the Panic at the Disco music video.
Yes.
And just like all of my fave emo moments.
I still love a man in a little bit of eyeliner. Noel Fielding on Great British Bake Off. Mwah, chef's kiss. I mean, if not, especially I feel like Derek Carr, like it really looks like he has like a lovely like charcoal liner on.
Stunning. Like
maybe
honestly,
he's just, if not, and they're just naturally blessed, then I'm jealous.
If they naturally just have those eyelashes, then they can fuck right off because they don't deserve them. But I'm just saying, like, is there a possibility to do some kind of like Fenty,
collab,
like NFL collab? Like that would be really cool. I would really enjoy that.
Yes, I would also enjoy that. And I feel like they both are in markets where that could be, you know, Vegas, NOLA, like that could be hot. Why not be the trendsetters? We should contact their PR people and pitch that. I love that as well. On a different note, the Buffalo Bills played in Cincinnati last week, and it was almost a year after the Damar Hamlin collapse. And the NFL, we were both watching that game. Yeah. I remember like texting about it.
That was honestly one of the scariest things I've ever seen on live television.
I mean, he died for a moment. Like his heart stopped and he died on and was resuscitated on live television. So the NFL on Sunday night did this whole commemorative video about the experience because it was obviously something that had just a tremendous amount of focus. But I will say at first I was like, this is a weird plug for this game. Like they were trying to hype the game and be like, remember last time they played?
I was like, I don't want to remember. Yeah, like I don't want to remember. I obviously am so happy he's okay. And it was honestly like very traumatic for him, I'm sure, and his family watching. And even for me, who's like someone who didn't know him
Yeah,
personally or much about him. Like, it was extremely sad to watch. So
it
I
was.
don't know if I want to be like remembered of an anniversary like that. I will say what I did like about that segment was he did talk to like the care team that took care of him in the hospital and like on like the field and the CPR team that like
Yeah.
basically kept him alive, and I thought that was really beautiful and meaningful.
Yeah, they did a nice job of actually talking about how the incident had the best possible outcome. Like, obviously, he lived, thank God. But Hamlin has used his platform to spread awareness about CPR. He also, like you said, he actually had dinner with his care team. Like, he took them all out, all the people who treated him at the Cincinnati hospital. And he apparently has started scholarships in a bunch of, I'm not sure how many, but in each of their names for children.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
really
kind of a nice
beautiful.
feel good story and way to like make something out of a very shitty situation, turn it into something good.
Oh my god, no, that was like, it was so devastating, and I'm so happy to see that he is back and he is, feeling okay. And like this, what that part of the segment was nice. What was not nice was like 1 year since, and I'm like, I need it. Okay, also, quick note, there is like
Yeah.
one announcer who does these like 1 year with anniversary, whatever, like who also does, I forget which game it is, but he sounds extremely perverted, and like it always just
Who
draws me
is
out of the
it?
game. I don't know. I'll record it next time it happens, and I'll play it, because like I think it was the same guy who's doing like the 1 year of like Damar Hamlin, and so I will let you know.
I feel like the NFL, in sports in general, but in the NFL in particular, there's so much like sexual innuendo or things that could be taken as such. We should start like paying attention to that because it's rampant. It's
Oh,
definitely a
there's a lot
thing.
of mention of holes, penetration.
Penetration.
Tush push is my new favorite term.
Tush push. That's
I'll
a good
tush
one.
push you.
There's a
Um,
lot of, yeah, also like just the homoeroticism of it all. It's like guys have to get dressed up in little uniforms to be able to like touch each other and pat each other on the buns. And it's like, guys, you can do that if you want
you can
to
tush push
IRL.
outside the field.
It
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't have to be televised for a national audience.
I think it does.
I
Everyone
mean,
has different kinks, Joni, okay?
this is true. This
Don't
is
kink
true.
shame them.
I do love, there's a comedian that does like a bit about that. She's like, oh, it's a girl who plays Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Oh,
And
my favorite.
yes, I can't
Yeah,
remember her name, but she does like a whole
Jenny
thing about
Slate.
Jenny Slate. She does a whole bit about in her comedy about how cute and like vulnerable football players actually are. And I think that's really beautiful.
I agree. I
It's
completely
true.
agree. Moving on to something that's, I guess, not beautiful. Apparently, this World Series was the least watched. Am I hearing that correctly?
The least, yeah, so like the least watch in television history.
That's
So
really bad.
I think part of it is they were like small market teams, but I think it just speaks to the fact that I'm biased. I have watched baseball, especially when the Royals were good, but it is this is a stereotypical complaint, but it's slow. And especially in like this digital era of instant gratification, I think that the patience for it has gone down.
I agree. I mean, I like in DC, the Nationals,
Yeah,
obviously,
a great team.
they do well. Yeah, and I've been to like tons of national games, not because I'm a huge
Fan.
baseball devotee, but mostly it's like some, I guess like people are, and like it's a very DC thing to go to the Nationals game.
Yeah.
Where they have very good food, but
I was going to say the food at baseball games, elite.
is amazing. But I will say there is something very different about like watching a game in the stadium, even if you don't know shit about it and you are potentially quite drunk. Not that I've ever done that, but like there's an ambiance, right, that you cannot capture on
On
TV. And
television.
there's like, I like can't imagine anything worse than a televised baseball game because it's just
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the problem. It's not that baseball itself doesn't have a good vibe, it's that it doesn't capture well on
Yeah,
television.
and it's such a large field, and like it moves slowly, and
And
like
they play so many games.
I know.
So many games.
I know
It's
they really do.
like the equivalent, I'm pretty sure the equivalent of, so there's 18 games in an NFL season, regular season. No, 18 weeks, 17 games. Anyway, the equivalent of like one baseball season is like 5 NFL seasons in terms of the number of games. It's just a lot of game. And
It's
they're
a lot of
long, right? 9
game. Yeah.
innings.
I mean, I don't
It's
think I've ever stayed for a full baseball game, like, or like in the sense that I've either come late or I've left
right.
early, because it is a long commitment. And like, I'm sorry, but I get really sleepy. Like, you
But
know,
and imagine like watching all like 160 season
yeah,
games.
and like,
That's
there's
a
no
lot.
shade for people who do, because like,
No,
if you have any tips to make watching baseball more fun, like, please lay them on me, because I'm all about it. Like,
you
I would
really, I
love.
think it lacks drama though. That's why I enjoyed the Royals. They were this team that hadn't won in 30 years and they were such like an underdog story. They were the wild card and then they won every single game until the World Series. This was in 2015 and then they came back and won the next year, but like that made it enjoyable. Like it was really easy to get invested in them. Whereas I think if you don't have like a really dramatic storyline like that, it's hard to stay with it for, I mean, 160 games, absolutely. But even for like the postseason, it's hard to, it's a long postseason too to get invested in if there's not like a juicy Cinderella storyline.
Sorry, I like started disassociating thinking about the postseason. I'm like, what? Why do they do that? Aren't you done?
After 160 games, you have not had enough. That is not enough
I'm
baseball for
I'm
you.
exhausted. No, no.
Just
I'm being
thinking
honest.
about it, I
Exactly.
I do think that this actually goes back to like what we were talking about earlier with the NFL and marketing um, the military. Like I do think that football has become America's game because it's more enjoyable to watch on TV.
It's also something you can, yeah, sit at home with your buddies. There's enough breaks where you can like go pee and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. It's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like it definitely is, like, even for me who is not a big sport, I think the most exciting to watch on TV is like hockey or like
Mm.
soccer, like like
Football.
football, like that is very like fast paced and
It's very
exciting.
fast. Yeah.
But like,
Or
I
basketball. There's a lot of like everything is faster than baseball is
know.
essentially the takeaway here.
So I
But
guess it's,
yeah,
yeah, NFL. I mean, football. It kind of has become like the
yeah, I think so. And
American
it's uniquely
pastime.
American. They're trying to make it less uniquely American, obviously, with these exhibition games. And then also, did you know that flag football is going to be in the next Olympics?
I did see that, and like,
Yeah.
I have some opinions, only because I'm like, who else is out here playing this? So
That's a
like,
good question.
America is going to, like, sadly,
Oh,
like, steamroll the fuck out of these games, because who else has like professional level
yeah.
training,
Yeah.
practice through the year? Like,
It does seem like a little bit of like a ringer move where it's the Olympics, not, is it the next, anyway, it's the next one that's in
the
America,
US.
and then they're like, let's put flag football on it and absolutely beat up on these chumps.
Oh, literally, it's going to be a massacre.
Although apparently there is a German women's flag football team, because there's some very beautiful ladies that were like exchanging jerseys with the Dolphins and Chiefs players in Frankfurt.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So that's,
beautiful.
and I think doing flag football makes it more accessible because you don't have to have the expensive gear, like the pads and everything. It's a lot, let alone the space. I mean, that's a big, to have 100 yards to play.
And like, I
It's a lot.
assume you're not getting the same level of physical damage to
Correct.
one's
Well,
body.
that's
Yeah.
a real
Joni,
concern.
that being said, I've only broken 2 bones in my life.
Oh,
It's
I never
been
have.
It's
Knock
been
on
my
wood.
left wrist both times, and it both times was playing flag fucking football at PE.
Wait,
So
is this true?
yes,
How do we've been
once in
best?
5th grade. No, once in 6th grade and once in 9th grade.
We have been best friends for like almost 20 years,
Yeah,
and I didn't know that. What?
flag football.
Flag football?
It's not as safe as you might think.
I have only ever played flag football one time. It was powder puff in high school. And I was the center, which is, very funny because normally center is like the biggest, burliest guy on the team. And
So
I was just because, yeah, exactly. I was just so like non-athletic that I was like, I can snap the ball probably. And Caroline Miller was the quarterback. She's a professional athlete. And so I was like, she's got it. I just need to like get the ball to her. That is blowing my mind that you broke your wrist twice playing flag football. That would have been, there would have been 100 other things that I would have guessed were the culprit of the wrist break before that.
It's flag football. That's
wow.
I'm probably going to have a lot of trauma watching it on television. So I hope you're ready for that.
I am. I feel like I know you better now, though. I'm really glad to hear that. glad to know this about you. Thank you for being vulnerable in this space. Oh my God, that is so fucking funny. All right, so moving on. So another thing that America kind of beats up on other countries traditionally is women's soccer, but the U.S. women's national team has had a bit of a rough go of it lately. They really underdelivered in the last World Cup. There was lots of criticism and accusations of mismanagement about the previous coach, Vlatko Andonovski, and basically just that he was playing the wrong players, that he wasn't utilizing his assets the way that he should have, and led to them going out early this year in the World Cup. So
a Russian mismanaging something? I'm shocked.
I am shooketh. Yes. So he's from Kansas City. He went to like Park University. Anyway, weird. But so he stepped down after this sort of uninspiring. Thank you. That's the word. Uninspiring performance. And there's this like big hole to fill. Who is going to coach the U.S. women's team and put them back in place? It is. It's probably like, again, it's the thing that we are, other than maybe flag football coming up, but it's like the thing that we are dominant at.
Yeah.
Or was until like the last few years. We have let it slide. But so big moves, the U.S. finally hired someone who is hopefully like up to the task, Emma Hayes, who is the current coach of Chelsea's women's team. She's an OBE. She's Women's Soccer League Hall of Famer. And I think it's going to be a good move.
I think it's a fucking phenomenal move.
As real deal.
All I'm saying is, why would you get a man to do something that a woman could do?
Absolutely. And can do.
That's especially for a women's team.
For a women's team. Yeah, absolutely. And they've had women's coaches in the past. There have been head female coaches, but I think that Hayes, like, she's just so proven. She's won like 6 women's super leagues. She gets
it. She's been there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's risen up through the ranks. She coached she's coached college. She coached at Iona, which my sister-in-law went to. Shout out to Sarah. She has coached not MSL, but like women's Major League Soccer in the US. And then now Chelsea. And she has an excellent reputation among her players, not just as like a brilliant soccer football strategist, but also as somebody who like really takes care of her players. She's like been noted to have a lot of empathy and be a support system for her players. And I think that
I love that.
That's nice. Yeah.
The Ted Lasso approach.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There have been players that have actually come out with these really nice quotes about her helping them through difficult times or helping them prioritize their mental health, which is really nice. Like you said, it's very Ted Lasso to be like, you can be at the top of your game. You can be elite in a competitive sport and still prioritize yourself holistically.
Just look at Jamie Tart.
Jamie Tart.
Obviously a real person.
A real I mean, I
But
wish
yeah,
he
no,
was.
but I mean, same. But like, it is really nice the fact that she's like a working mom and
Yes, she is a mom.
she is, out there like making sure her players are okay, because you can't fucking play if you are like dealing with some mental health issues. Like, you can be as
Yeah.
amazing as you want, but like, you need to have that taken care of. So that is an incredible move, and I love
Yeah.
to see it.
It's very like the US is stepping their pussy up, as they say on
and
RuPaul's Drag
quite
Race.
literally in this
Quite
case.
literally. Yes, I think it's a move that says like we're ready to be taken seriously again. So, I think only good things can come in the what's 4 years from now? When's the next World Cup? Math is hard. 2027.
Yes,
That doesn't sound
27.
like that sounds like a made up time. What?
I'm not worried about it. It's in the future.
It's in the future. Yeah. So now time for our WAG of the week. This week,
Journey, I'm so excited.
This week it is Alix Earle, but Alix, if you don't know, spells her name Alix. So that's fun.
Much like the former Empress of Russia.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize this was like in any way precedented. I thought this was just like a fun.
No, she clearly comes from
royalty. Well, she is social media royalty. She became famous with her like get ready with me videos on TikTok where she'd like spill her personal life. And now her personal life is WAG life because she is dating Miami wide receiver Braxton Berrios. And he looks like a fucking Ken doll. Like
I'm looking him up right now,
and really looks like a Ken doll.
Well, first of all, his name is Braxton, so
Braxton.
That is already a tragic name because it's very like tragedy spelled tragedy DEIGH.
It's a Utah mom's child's name.
And he is giving Ken doll. They're giving Ken
Barbie couple.
Barbie and Ken, but like maybe like not from Mattel, but maybe from like a slightly lesser known doll brand.
Slightly off brand. She refers to him like in her post as NFL man. It's, it's a thing. But she is like OG. She has OG old school WAG energy for me. She really like leans into her luxury lifestyle. She's a brand promoter. There's actually if you look at her Wikipedia page, they document the Alix Earle effect, just basically the tremendous impact, like her ability to drive sales for brands that she supports. And I love it. It's very posh.
I love that. Yeah. And also like her like aesthetic is also giving me like peak WAG, like, right? Like the good old days of WAG where it was like tan, like extensions, like that kind of like look. And honestly, like that's what I'm here for. That's what I want my WAGs to do.
I mean this in the most feminist way possible, but she has an ass that will not quit. Like this girl's butt is ridiculous. So good on you. She definitely took advantage, though, this weekend with Taylor Swift not going to the game. There was this massive hole, right, in the media coverage. So she went to the game in Germany. And I love that for her. She was
she gets to shine.
She's getting her sporty girl spotlight. As she should. Another fun fact about this woman.
I need you to explain this last fact to me, Jenny, because I read this earlier and I was like,
It's a lot. So this is an older reference, but her dad is married to Ashley Alexandra Dupree, who was at the center of Elliot Spitzer, former governor of New York, his sex scandal. So she was at one point quoted to be the most famous hooker in America, back when we still said hooker. So that lets you know how old this sex scandal was. It was the early 2000s. So her dad started dating Ashley Alexandra Dupree after the Elliot Spitzer sex scandal. Apparently, there was infidelity in this relationship too.
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
the dad got with Ashley while he was still married to Alex's mom.
Yeah. Yep. And to Alex's credit, she sees things in shades of gray versus black and white. She was like, when I was a kid, I really fucking hated her and it was hard, but now we're this beautifully blended family, and life has complexities. So good for
You
you,
love
Alex.
to see it. Like, also,
You
that
do.
is just like, to me, is just like, I love this because I love a good, like, escandalo moment. And, like,
Oh yeah.
I love seeing those moments come and being like, but then also seeing them, like, turn out kind of cute,
Yeah,
like, this is nice.
she's
Like,
got a
they're,
family now.
yeah.
And I like to imagine that, like, when Ashley is confronted with like a difficult PR situation,
Well,
she
she's
can
got
go
someone
to
in the
Ashley.
corner who knows how to deal with that.
Absolutely. She has someone who has absolutely been there, the most famous hooker in America.
Jesus.
Fucking Elliot Spitzer. What a gross man.
Disgusting.
If you're not familiar, like, this prompted basically finding out that he was spending taxpayer money on her as an escort led to his resignation. So taking out the trash.
I mean, I just love seeing what our tax dollars are being put to use on.
I mean, if they're not being used to
buy
promote
those
them,
hideous, ugly brown UPS uniforms.
Salute to service, then they're
I'd
being
rather
used.
them being spent on a women-owned business.
Yes, a high-class call girl. Please give me support a sex worker.
But, like, straight up, I mean that 100%.
So do I. Absolutely. But I think Alix Earle is, again, she is bringing back this, like, old school WAG, and I love it. I'm here for it. Braxton Berrios, I'm less intrigued by him. I think she's the most interesting thing about him right now.
Oh, I literally did not know who this man was until she started dating him. So,
well, now
correct.
You do. So again, good move, Braxton. Paxton, Claxton, his 3 Utah brothers.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I think that just about covers it.
Yeah, that was pretty much everything. So looking forward to next week and whatever fresh mayhem we will cover.
The Chiefs have a bye week, so I can really, like, look elsewhere, dig into the drama and other places. I'm excited. We would love to see y'all back here next week. Come find out what's new in sports and pop culture gossip with us.
All right, see you later.
Bye.